And let's continue our study of the Kentucky coffee tree. I recorded this exact same tree 6 months ago in December of 2019 and showed the bark and also the winter appearance and the seed pods of the neighboring trees in this grove. This is on the banks of the Little Miami River here in Warren County, Ohio, a very popular kayaking and canoe route. You can hear some people in the background having fun. And we're doing some hiking today. It's cool and comfortable, low humidity. The bark of this tree is fairly unique with the, looks like a braided pattern and these little flakes that come off of it. And as they get older, the flakes become even more pronounced. But what's really unique about the Kentucky coffee tree is the number of leaflets on the leaves. So it's a bipinnately compound tree. Just for comparison, on the path here is the leaflets and leaf of a box elder, which grows on this bottomland location as well. And they have usually 3 to 5 leaflets on one leaf. So we got our main stem here on this box elder that's about 8 to 10 inches long with 5 leaflets coming off of it. Well, what the Kentucky coffee tree has is a main stem on the leaf that's 24 inches long, sometimes even longer, with all these little side branches. Each one has between 5 and 12, even 14 leaflets coming off the main stem of the leaf. So this is what we call bipinnately compound. So it is compoundly compound. Instead of just having one leaflet coming off the main stem, it's got another stem with many more leaflets. And what I'm counting here is at least 4 to 6 dozen leaflets coming off each leaf. And that is by far the most leaflets you're going to find on any leaf among the bipinnately compound trees growing in the area covered by this channel, the Ohio Valley, Lower Great Lakes, and Appalachian regions. Some of the ornamental and invasive species like the mimosa might actually have more leaflets if you counted them, but they're not native and they're much smaller leaflets. These leaflets themselves are about 1 to 2 inches long and a nice point at the end with an oval bottom. So a really unique tree because of the number of leaflets on these bipinnately compound leaves. The winter appearance is unique, and the bean pods, let's take a look at those. I couldn't find any when I did this segment last winter. They were all still hanging to the branches. But these bean pods, I've got my pocket knife in there for scale. They're about 3 to 6 inches long. The bean pods on your right are from a Kentucky coffee tree. And the beans themselves inside the pod are about the size of that dime. And there are methods to making them less toxic or palatable. I'll let you look that up yourself, folks. I'm not going to advise on that. I've never tried it. But these beans were used as a coffee substitute at one time. And the bean pod is quite thick, a ½ inch thick, and it kind of splits out as it dries out, and the beans can be accessed. So real thick coating on the bean pod of the Kentucky coffee tree. One bean pod that is similar in color but much longer and thinner is that from the honey locust. You can see how thin that is, and the beans are much thinner too. I'm going to get back to the honey locust and the leaves and seeds on that in the next few weeks. That's a late one to leaf out this year, and I'm going to wait for the leaves to fully mature before I record it. But here's our Kentucky coffee tree with its summer appearance. And if you look up at the sky, I mean, these leaves actually look like small branches, but they're not. They're actually bipinnately compound leaves that are 2 to 3 feet long. I mean, they're huge. Nothing else would compare with it. And interesting tree that I find commonly in these moisture ravines and bottomlands in the Ohio Valley here. And while we're studying the Kentucky coffee tree today, I'm going to add just a few seconds of video on the mature bark of a 1 foot diameter Kentucky coffee tree. It starts to lose that braided appearance, and it gets more of a flaky appearance. So this bark starts to flake off, and about a 2 inch deep flake here, and maybe 4 to 6 inches long, each one of these flakes. So we wouldn't really call them furrows, but it's more flaky. And fairly unique color to this bark and fairly unique texture as they get older. You could almost confuse it with the honey locust, which gets similar flakes, but it usually has those large thorns. And it's a light purple color, similar to a black cherry, but a black cherry is quite a bit more purple than this tree. And the flakes on a black cherry do not come off like this, but more like the size of a corn chip, and they come off and they flake on all 4 sides. So a fairly unique tree, and one that's easy to learn if you know what to look for, the Kentucky coffee tree.